here. How are you guys doing today? Thanks for listening. And if I just shouted out your car window and scared some random squirrels, it's your fault for tuning in. Don't blame me. I'm doing my job. I'm just being me. So if you are new to us, we interview Canada's top amateur to pro female strength athletes, but we are doing a road trip series segment where we interview the most amazing bald women across the world and the 7 seas, where there's lots of boats.
And hosts, boats and hosts.
I was just gonna say hoes. I love you. Everywhere there be hoes, they see me riding, rolling. What's the song?
Good
Try to
Lord.
catch me riding dirty or sailing dirty. So we do this to empower women to compete for strength sports and to make dad jokes and make y'all laugh. You know who I am. If you don't, yes, you know. I'm Stephanie, aka Thick Stephanie, because I'm thick. Got those drumstick legs. Like today, I can crush watermelons. And I'm also known as Fantastic the Dancer because I'm a hugger, I'm cuddling shit. Unless you make me mad, then I'm a grizzly bitch. Don't mess around. I'm a dance and fitness educator from Manitoba in Canada, and I'll do Scotch heavy games and throw things when I'm angry. It's a very good thing instead of, throwing people. That's problematic. Get arrested. Don't do that. Do not recommend throwing people on the show unless it's one of our challenges. Then you can do that. You can win some shit. So today's episode, we're talking about how to avoid injuries and perform at your peak ability when you're having a competition. And this is going to be relevant to new and experienced lifters. And our wonderful and amazing guest today is the one and the only Lauren Wells. Okay. Like an Olympia song as you walk in with a flag. Yeah.
I need a flame or something. Where's my lighter? Like, anybody got a tree branch I can set ablaze? So,
like as if it's a big cigar and behind you is like the end on fire and you're just like,
I know, right?
They see me rolling in.
And that, of course, has to be my walking song.
It has to be because you're so straight gangster.
Of course, straight gangster. What?
What's all those phrases? I already can see the triggering comments coming. What did you say?
Wait a minute.
Right? Wait a minute. Oh, why you do me like that? We can't tell folks. I can't rap stuff. Yeah.
You're doing a lot better than what I would do.
Yeah, there's some brown people somewhere way back in my ancestors. The Scots and the Irish messed around, I'm sure of it. So, we're problematic. We're sexual. You can't control us. It's not my fault to redhead you. So anyway, you can find her on IG, unit, chunky and strong because she's chunky. And there's another song, I like them big. I like them. There's like, someone's like a guy with face and this guy's like, I like them big. I like them chunky. Anyways, that's also your other song.
I need to record you doing this because I need all of these to be my walkout song. Like, I don't think a professional rapper or artist could do it as well as you.
Thank you. Listen,
I'm just saying.
When you become famous, I will walk out and I'll be behind you, be like, move, bitch, get out.
Yeah, no, you know what? Are you for hire?
Are
you for hire? Just come roll with me.
Question. That is available on our website. So if any of you strongman event holders want my fabulous self to broadcast your event live, all you got to fly this sexy face out and it'll be done live. Want more information on our website, and then you can get me and all my goodies. It's taken so much self-control not to twerk at stadium games. Just saying.
I mean, I don't think anybody would stop you.
The problem is I'll be twerking so hard though. All the moms
you probably pull something.
Or that too. To wipe out on the podium.
Somebody come get this lady.
Somebody come get her. She's dancing like
Oh my God.
I have watched way too much TikTok. So anyways, you guys, thank you for tuning in and stay and listen to the end, okay, for all these exciting news. So anyways, Lauren, you are a strong woman.
Yes.
You have pretty amazing creds, street creds. I'm pretty sure.
I got a rep, if you will.
She's known on the microphone. Don't mess around. She'll beat you up. She's an international pro strongwoman. Look at those shoulders. I mean, honestly, can you boys even pack that? Anyway, so she's a 2019 USS Pro Woman World First Place. Okay, and then she was a 2-time Arnold Amateur qualifier up to 2020, and then they canceled things. And she does the strongman classes on a Sunday. She has a Facebook group for international athletes called Women of Strongman. That is where I found her and her amazing pictures, and we'll talk about that as well. So anyways, woman, what got you into the sport of strongman? Was it because it was welling inside of you? Last name Wells.
Oh, I see where you went with that one. That was very creative. A little bit of a stretch there, but I appreciate the effort. So basically what had happened was I was working at an Anytime Fitness and I was doing bodybuilding, and I did my first competition and I quickly decided that that was not the sport for me. However, I did end up meeting somebody at the gym who shot me on the event page, like a Facebook event page for a strongman competition, like that was 3 hours away from me. And I'd never really, like, I knew what strongman was at that point, but I'd really never considered doing it because I'd never even seen anywhere around town to do that. So, but he sent me the link and he's like, you should do that. And I'm like, okay, friend. And then I did it. And I was like, oh, okay, this is how much fun this is. I'm going to keep going. So, and that was it.
Done.
It was signed, sealed, delivered. It's like, I was meant to play with rocks and things that look like trees. So.
Hey, look, a rock, I'm gonna pick it up. I just feel like that's like I'm feeling Patrick is the starfish vibe from SpongeBob.
I can totally channel that. Yeah.
So bodybuilding, I'm curious why it wasn't for you. For me, when I did it, it was just like, it was for the health reasons personally, no judgment, no hate on bodybuilders, but it just didn't align with my goals and my body type, because back in the day, they didn't have a super heavyweight category for women, right? So,
yeah.
And like I'm a heavyweight, so I was like, I'm making myself sick trying to become this, and this isn't good. So anyways, right. And it's just like also just a crazy thing to find of it for me too, but I'm curious because everyone has the reasons, right? Some people like to go to, from strongman to powerlifting or into powerlifting, I'm like, it's really interesting. Like there's no straight linear path, you know what I mean?
No.
So, yeah. What was?
No, it was kind of along the same reasons. I just, I was chasing a certain look, and I realized that when I achieved it, I still wasn't super happy about it, Yeah. I've always been just like a bigger, stronger individual, but it wasn't until like after I did the bodybuilding thing and until I really started getting into strongman that I realized that like that's my thing. So, I just bodybuilding taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about the body, about the body's relationship with food and with muscle growth. But at the same time, it just, for me, it wasn't good for my mental health. The relationship with food just wasn't something that I was handling well. And I, like I said, I always knew I wanted to be stronger. I just kind of lacked the confidence and the know-how how to do it, but I figured it out and I'm not unhappy with my decisions.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I also forgot to mention in the show, guys, that she's from the US of A. So, woo woo. So, beep, beep. Who else did you know?
Toot toot.
Woo woo. My kids
I feel like we're in a children's game room.
I have freaking kids, man. Oh God, that's right. Every day is like that,
Did you just pull out a bop it?
And I'm ready at any time. That's like the best video ever. Jack Black just like blowing his little trumpet, his toy trumpet. You ever seen that video?
It's hilarious. My God, yes. Oh my God, that man's hilarious.
I love it. I try to channel Jack Black, like the female Jack Black. Live my life. Nacho Libre is my favorite movie of all time. Yeah.
Wow, that's a good call. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Shit, I relate to the hair. My mom looked like him without the mustache growing up, so it was pretty hilarious.
All right. Well, I mean, there's that. I don't know your mom and all, but you know.
I would make fun of her perms and she gets mad even to this day. I'm like, why are you still mad? It was so long ago. She's like, Stephanie, that was in back then. I'm like, Bob, you wore couch dresses, okay? And your perms
It's like
so tight. You know what I mean? Like you could go to roller coaster with wet hair. They look exactly the same. She had Jerry curls and she was white. I'm telling you, it was ridiculous.
No. Oh, that
so
just
bad.
doesn't.
Yeah, it was bad.
You know what? I think we're all allowed that, that one bad hair time. So,
yeah, and her life that thing. But yeah,
but again, yeah. So
back to bodybuilding. So yeah, so I can relate to the same things that you mentioned. And I'm glad of all the things that taught me the discipline, because I wouldn't have had it if I hadn't done that, just like you. But it's like, why fight your own physique? Like your own superpowers, like you're kind of wasting it. Because the way I look at it was like, anybody could become a bodybuilder, and I'm not discrediting the work. I'm saying that anyone could train themselves like that. But for me, it's like, when you're born with strength or special body type or whatever, like don't waste it, right? Like, I'm not saying any body type naturally could become a strong woman, but if you are naturally strength inclined, might as well use it. And I never loved my body. Like, that's what I'm saying. I struggled with eating disorders my whole life. I have been, and I don't care what anybody says, I've been a size 4 to size 22. I've been all over the map, and I've never loved my body until after I've had kids and in a committed relationship and committed to my business and my strongman stuff. Like, I've never had that confidence. And it's crazy because I look at pictures from those times and I'm like, what the hell? I was a vibe. So, for me,
I was a vibe.
I was a vibe. I was hot and shit. Damn,
look at me.
Why didn't I have like 20 sugar patties? I mean, shit.
Right.
I mean, that's just sexy, dude. But yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, you like, it just, I always had this going in my head, and I couldn't break that down cycle no matter what the hell I did. And through this strongman, it just became about getting the job done. And then I didn't have to worry about that shit. And then I was proud of my body. That was actually one of the reasons why I fell in love with you and your page was the photos that you take of yourself, because you always see women taking photos, not similar because you have a very unique style, but, body shots who are bodybuilders. You rarely see, I mean, you see some women who are thicker, by their barbell or by whatever, like taking shots. But for you, it was very not burlesque. I was very much like, it's just so empowering and so good to see that. And I think more women need to be exposed to images like that. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, no. That kind of hits on a really big reason why, like, I love strongman and I love getting women involved, and I love working with women as far as like my coaching goes. I think for us, like, that's something that comes from just childhood and society and conditioning over time. Because I mean, when I was in middle school and high school, like, I knew I was a hoss. Like, I knew I was bigger than all the boys, and I could beat all the boys at arm wrestling, and I was just, I was the strong kid in school. But like, I was also made fun of for it, and I was made to feel like I wasn't a girl, or I wasn't girly enough, or no boy's gonna like me if I'm stronger than them. And that's stuff that you still hear today. And it is discouraging, especially when you start so young. But I like showing what strongman has done for me, because I'm like you. I didn't start really liking myself or liking my body until I got into strongman. But it was weird, because when I got into strongman, I kind of said whatever about like my physique goals. I'm like, I can't focus on that anymore. It doesn't feel healthy. It doesn't, feel right. Well, then I started transitioning, and I'm like, okay, I'll focus on how I perform. And I focused on just getting stronger and doing, movements better and getting better at events and all that. And at the same time, without me realizing it, I was shaping my body into exactly what I wanted. And I just think there's still this huge misconception for some reason that women getting into strength sports is gonna, turn them into a giant lumpy pile of muscular goo. And like, that's just not what happens, you know? Like,
I think it depends on their diet, right? And if they're using, you know what I mean? And I'm not
well,
judging,
it
I'm
does.
just saying, like,
No, but it does.
It's true. And people like see pictures and they're like, well, they do strongman and they do power and blah, 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 blah. No, look at their diet, okay? Because the training patterns can only change so much. And once again, I'm not hating. I'm just saying that, like, most likely if a woman has like that low of a body percentage fat, she's probably using. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying, that's what makes her feel loved and empowered and happy. And do you, boo, right? But I'm just saying, like, don't compare all women and don't think one woman can underperform another based on her physique. You know what I mean? That's only relevant for bodybuilding. There's so many strong, powerful, strong women, athletes, even the heavyweight category, that are pretty cut. And there's some that are thicker and kind of fluffy. You know what I mean? Sorry, I know.
Oh, I do know what you mean.
That have like thin legs. They don't have super thick legs. So it's like all these. There's no genericness. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Well,
and also, like, everybody's body is special, and like what strength sports have shown me is that, like, you know, you can look at somebody and think that they, you know, and have one idea about them just based upon what they look like, and then it turns out that you misjudged them. You know, like I've seen, you know, like you said, there are all different kinds of body shapes in the sport. And even if somebody doesn't look like they're strong or look like they've got endurance or whatever, they might surprise you.
You know what? I got lots of loose skin because because of my eating disorders my whole life. I've lost weight and gained weight so many times, and also then having kids. So it's like, I don't care because I know that I'm packaged underneath that, and I really don't give a shit. And I'm like, I know I feel good, you know, touch my body. Well, you know, like
that's the important part. It's like, I don't want, you know, I don't want people to look at my page and like want to be like me. I want people to look at my page and feel empowered to feel good about themselves. Like, it really shouldn't matter what other people think of you. I mean, people are going to think what they want, but at the same time, you know, you need to embrace what you have and work with what you have and be appreciative of it.
Yeah, like I used to, when I was like 10 years ago, when I was like way thinner even before I had kids, like even 7 years ago, I used to Photoshop the shit out of my photos. Like, not hating on people, once again, if you do that, you do you, boo. But I'm saying, I used to like edit the shit out of my face and my body. And it's like, it's kind of fucked up to me now because I'm proud of my achievements in the dance world. I'm proud of all the stuff I've accomplished, whether or not they were super successful or if they had challenges, like, because I did it, right? This is what, like, this is literally my point of every fucking day. I did it. Unless you try or you fucking did it, you can shut the hell up because, like, you know what I mean? As long as someone has tried, they're getting it done. So who cares how the process looks? You know what I mean? Like, people want a pretty packaged process. Let the process just be the process. And most of the time, it's just ugly. And why are you trying to pretend or prepackage the world like it's all okay? You don't need to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. If you unfollow me because you don't like my photos not Photoshop enough for you, I really don't care. I don't need to have 1 million followers. I don't need to like be fake. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing is, there's a lot of fake online. And the truth is, like, life is messy and training's messy, and you know, there's a lot of days where I don't hit numbers that I should be hitting, and there are a lot of days where, you know, I have not been eating like I should be eating, and you know, my I feel off and I look off and I don't, you know, but we're human, and like, that's okay. It's okay to be human and to have bad days and to not look your best. And then, you know, on the flip side, you know, if you're feeling yourself that day, you know, slap a little mascara on, you're good.
I'm feeling myself.
Right. But it's like, we feel like we have to live up to these expectations, and it's just like, no, you really do not, you know? If you do what you enjoy and show the world that you enjoy it, and that's really all that it's about.
So I'm gonna talk about your boyfriend. I don't know if that's off topic because I didn't ask you, but anyway, like when I see you taking photos, nice chocolate man, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I'm down with the brown. But anyways, when you take I had a lot of anyways. Got me vanilla right now, but I like my sombrero and a mojito and whatever. Anyways, when you take photos with him, like you shine on your own. You know what I mean? And you can tell he respects you and he lets you do you, but it's like you shine individually. And I think individuality in empowered individuality in male or females, any age, is the most beautiful, amazing thing. I love people who look different, act different, are unique, have a story. You know what I mean? I mean, the cookie cutter is cute for a second. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
Like, that's boring. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I just say, like, you're not editing the crud out of your photos, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you're not like, oh, I need to, like, make sure all my skin tone matches. And if I got a little set
right. I mean, who cares if my lazy eye hangs out? That it's okay. It's cool. It's still my eye, and it still works. It just happens to be smaller than the other one sometimes. No, but like, yeah, I like showing that I'm real, and that I and you're right. Like with him, I mean, he's so supportive, and he allows me to be who I want to be, and he loves me for it no matter what. And I feel the same way. So I mean, it's the best, most supportive relationship I've ever been in. And that's also another real part of me, which is why I like to share it. And I think the fitness world would be a lot better off if people just started acting normal. Just be normal. Like, we need to normalize normal. Yeah, like it's so normal to be fake these days. It's scary. Like I want my kids to grow up and feel like they can do and be whatever they want to be, and not feel judged. And
well, it's not just that. Like, there's so many people who like say one thing to your face and they act differently in the behind. I'm not like that. If you don't like me, tell me. You don't want to hang out with me and my kids? I don't care. Tell me. Like, I'm very much like, I don't like playing games. I don't like bullshit. I don't like having my time wasted. I see through that shit. So like, let me know what's up. You know what I mean? If you don't follow, you don't follow. Hey, if you want to let me know how we can improve, great. Like, I'm a very much like open.
You're straightforward.
I'm straightforward.
And
if you can't get no balls to talk to me and you walk away, then you're lost, because I don't take nobody, no man. I'm an independent woman. I can take care of it myself. But so like, the reason why I'm with the person I'm with is because they let me do what I need to do and respect that and empower that. Every time I was with the guys, always trying to like dim my shine, alpha. And I'm like, do you realize like that's a positive quality, because I can fight to death for you, that I can multiply what you have.
You can like, literally tap me in and I got your back
on every element. Like, I got food and woman quality. Like, hello, this is
hello.
I'm a deal. But I will call you on your stuff. And like, that's the thing. It's like, because I think that a good friend and a good spouse calls you on your shit in a positive way, and says it nicely. It gets to the point where you're like, hey, I need to yell at you because you tell me for 3 years. But anyways, it's like, they want to bring the best out of you. And that's what realness is the anger, the sadness, the joy, the whatever, like I wanted to cry after my first truckle, and that's okay. It's not like, see, that's a weird thing too. It's like women, we're like, we just kind of grunt all the time because we're surrounded by men, or I'm too powerful. It's like, cry, girl, because what you had to go to get that that freaking overhead press. Like, cry.
It can be emotional. So
especially if kids are like extremely hard to, or other things in your life that are like stopping you, and unsupportive family or friends. Like, it's so much more than your PR. It's so much more than winning a placement or money. You know what I mean? It's like how hard just getting in the damn doors in gym. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody's making a living being a strongman athlete. Like, for real. So we have to fit this stuff in around the rest of our lives. And if you have any ambition to do this beyond just, like sticking on the local amateur level, it's going to take time. It's going to take time away from other things in your life. And, it's really nice to have somebody at home and friends and family who actually understand and want to see you do well and encourage you to follow your dreams. So no, I agree. Yeah.
But don't wait for that. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, people always want permission in life. You don't need anyone's freaking permission. Like, today's a perfect example, okay? Like, I'm not going to get into it because I don't need to get canceled, but basically, like, I was outside my own front door and someone yelled at me for not wearing a mask outside my own front door. And I'm like, if you're so afraid, why don't you go 20 feet away from your 6 feet? Like, I can't even. Like, you live your life, you do you. This is like,
I can't even.
Like,
this is my doorstep. How dare you? This is my doorstep.
My doorstep. Anyways, I'm gonna call the police to beat you silently before they come. I was kidding, but no, you know what I mean? Like, so this is what I'm trying. So for me, like, the whole thing we were talking about, like, in high school, like, I wanted to be in the football team because I have a really good arm. Like, I have very good aim. Cool. And but they were like, no, you're a gal. And like, there wasn't a rugby team, and I just really knew that I was, like, you know, the one who lifted the girls. And they would still say the other skinny cheerleaders were bitches because they were like, you know, you're kind of a fat cheerleader, and I wasn't a fat. But my point was, like, I had a really good arm and aim, but I'm built like a brick shit house. So I get tired of fighting. I'm like sweating, freaking asthma attack. I'm good as hell, but I'm the one who's just drenched. By the end of
you're just like, I am here. Right.
And then my back hurts and I gotta have a hot shower because I'm after, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't pretty. I'm not the girl who's like,
and I smell like an 8-day-old dirty sock.
Yeah, like an ape gorilla, hairy ass. But no, the girls are like, it's a pee, it's a foot, and they're like in their little outfits. And
then you're over there just like melting.
Yeah, I'm like,
hold the muscle, hold on.
Yeah. I dislocated my own damn shoulder. And I was like, "Pah!" And my mom was like, you know, you're not meant to do that, right?
You literally threw your arm off, like.
It's like Latin music. It's like this, right? So I was like, hey, yeah. I was like, because you everything is big and wide. So I was like, hey, yeah, you know.
And then there goes the arm.
And then back to the whole die thing, as I think I talked to it about it in earlier episodes, but I had literally had so many health problems. I gave myself a cyst in the liver. I had parasites. I had horrible indigestion, endometriosis, freaking, what's the other one with the digestive issue? There's something else. And there's so much. It was so bad. And anywho, once I switched to a high protein carnivore diet for strongmen, even though I was way heavier, all those issues went away. And actually, we were talking about the face thing. Part of my face is actually crooked because I had a stroke. I gave myself a stroke when I was, I think before I had kids, I think I was 24. And it was scary because I was in my attic and I could feel my heart. And I literally remember thinking I'm having a stroke. And then I was kind of paralyzed on the ground. And I called my mom and I couldn't move half my face. And my face was crooked. So when I do makeup, it's kind of challenging because I gotta make it straight. And I
balance it out.
Balance it out. But anyway, that's it's serious shit. And that's what I'm trying to say is you know, you got to be careful when you're fucking with all these different supplements and diets and to gain this image, because you won't be happy. Happiness is inside. People ask me all the time because they can't, especially in my 20s when I was a dancer, are you happy, grasshopper? I'm like, you assume that in a bigger body, I can't be happy because once again, societal beliefs. So people are like, oh, your husband's really good looking. I'm like, yes, because I'm good looking and I'm awesome sauce. The fuck?
Right.
So it's all bullshit. Men and women, you've been lied to since your childhood. You know how to have fun? You buy a canoe. You go in the fucking water, canoe. You don't be like,
go canoe.
I can't. My ass is kind of tight though in the canoe. I'm not gonna lie. I got a big ass. It's
they don't make canoes in different sizes. Women. I don't think they don't. They really don't. It's a shame.
No, same with bikes. They're they do everyone's a skinny-o. That should be a cereal. I'm patenting that. But anyways, they're with the people on their bike, you know.
But no, you're making a good point. What's the point of playing a sport if you end up making yourself miserable over it? Right? Do it because you have fun. Do it because it makes you feel good. I think you're right. I think we've been programmed for so long to feel and think about ourselves in a certain way, you know.
And so many people injure themselves before competitions because they're so focused on this fucking win. Like if they don't get a post on Instagram, they don't get them the glory, then they're a loser. No,
right.
You're not a fucking loser. You know what I mean?
No, and I try to teach that. I try to, instill that in my clients whenever they go into a competition. It's just like, okay, we have goals. We're gonna set some PRs, but also you're gonna have some fun and you're gonna learn a lot. Like one thing that I've noticed working with a lot of new competitors who are doing like their first and their second show, they get so focused on not zeroing and not looking bad and hitting on the podium and what place they come in. And like for me, the first couple of competitions you do, it's about getting experience. It's about getting your feet wet and figuring out if this is the sport for you. So I try to tell that to my clients. I'm like, yeah, set some goals. I always want to go for the podium. Of course I want all my people to come in first, but at the end of the day, I need you to have fun and I need you to have a great experience and learn. So
you have to make a promise to me. The next time you podium, you need to be like posing like that.
What?
And then I don't know if I'm totally like covered in baby goo and wearing mom outfits, so don't you judge me. But anyways, the next time I podium, I'm gonna go like this. I'm just gonna air hump like a dude, and like this everywhere, and see a dude like, wow.
You're gonna hit him with the finger guns. You're gonna hit him with the finger guns.
I am.
All right. I guess I can't use the finger guns myself now.
Honestly, I would turn around to work, but then I'd be kicked out of strongman, so I probably wouldn't be allowed in the competitions. That's the only thing I would.
I don't know if that would get you kicked out of strongman. I've heard and seen worse.
Have you?
Yeah.
Manitoba, we're so freaking conservative and reserved here, and
for real.
Yeah, man. I go all the time to do TikTok videos. Like if I see a cop, I always make jokes. I always talk to them. Even the sheriff, I'll go right up to the car and eat a fucking sandwich. I don't care if their window's open. I'll go up to them. I'm always like, dance with me. I'll go open the store and I'll just like turn on music and be like, and they're just like,
wait a minute.
Arrest you. Like,
I will arrest you for no good reason other than to make you stop.
Yeah. And I'm like, come on, it's fun. They're like, that better not get anywhere. Delete it now. I'm like, fuck.
You're verging on X-rated, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. No, but it's called personal space. That's the case. So anyways,
nice.
Yeah, nice. So
nice.
Go back to your photos of you. What I also really loved about you was how you educated about strong woman. I was going to say woman, but it's women called strong man. And then people are like, you mean just strong women in general? I'm like, no, it's more strong. Anyway,
man, there's that is like an age-old argument that nobody gives a shit about. Whatever. I'm a strong woman, or I compete in strong man. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
whatever.
You know what I'm talking about. Everyone shut it.
Right.
So you take photos, right, with the vintage style of strongman, and you dress up, and then you also do that at competitions, which I think is really cool. I think, especially in your body type, like, it's really empowering. So I'm curious, like, what made you do that? What was your goal and your message out of it? Was just being you? Because I mean, it's the shit. So.
Thank you. So it actually kind of started during COVID. I saw some I don't know if it started on TikTok. I'm sure that's where it started. That's where everything starts. But I saw somebody do like an old piece of artwork and recreate it. And oh, you know what? It was for a museum. It was like this art challenge they were doing to, like, give people shit to do during the pandemic. And it was recreate your favorite pictures using stuff around the house.
I remember those.
Yes. Yeah. So I started doing that, and that was really fun. But then I was like, okay, I've always kind of been like interested in the old timey, like vintage strong women in that era. And I'm like, I can kind of do the same thing with the old photos, just recreate them in today's time, and also throw in some education while we're at it. So that's kind of how it started. And like, I like it. I think it's cool. I like talking to people about strongman. So it gives me the ability to share some information, that I'm sure a lot of people don't know about. And also like I like the fact that I have a lot of girls who, message me and they're like, oh, I had no idea, women back in the 1760s or whenever, we're doing strongman stuff and lifting.
Because it's important. Sorry to interrupt you for 1 second before I forget the 2 ADD. So anyway, especially that. But the reason why that's important, what you're saying right now, is because the reason why women have these ridiculous anorexic images, and you can tell an athlete's anorexic, I'll just kind of photo like, ugh. Anyways, it's because of the certain time frames in the modeling industry, right? Like the 90s, the 2000s, whatever, where it was like in scars. So when women think that's always how it's been, like they're gonna think, and so same with men, right? The program through the pornography, they watch everything, and especially cartoons, animation, video games, whatever, right? But when you find out, oh shit, other cultures like women who are curvy, or oh shit, it's these times, it's like, beauty through the generations, you realize that at any time it's just been brainwashed, and that your preference is probably just brainwashed, and that underneath it all, a lot of people don't even really know who they're attracted to or what they even find attractive in themselves, right? You find that through strongman self-discovery. So anyways, it's like you said, it's shocking. It's like even when I started doing burlesque and I was looking to that, you're like, holy fuck, like why did no one ever tell me this? Why did I never hear about these people growing up in school? Damn magazines, damn Cosmo.
Well, and that's it. It's like beauty standards come from the fashion industry. Like that's what most people are trying to model. But a lot of that just isn't realistic. Those aren't realistic body images people should be shooting for. So no, I like showing, the strong women of different eras, because they've always been around, and it's always been okay to be a strong woman and not, a toothpick. So, but again, on the flip side, nothing wrong with being skinny. The point is, there's nothing wrong with embracing being strong as a woman.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for me, once again, is just, I'm in Manitoba, it's a small community, crazy small community. And I mean, you can count the strong women, in heavyweight category on one hand, right? So, and out of those women, in my province, I think I'm the only one with kids. So it's like, it's really hard when most of the moms I know aren't into that, right? And so, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, I'm sitting there eating a protein bar, drinking a protein shake, and I go to the gym, and they're like, I'm like, I'm tired, man. Like you said, it's a sacrifice. Like you give up things. But it's like when you plug in online, right? When you plug in with other people, you're like, oh shit, like, it is normal. Like you said, it's been around all the time, but you have to be exposed to that, right? So you have to almost like you have to deprogram everything that you've been taught and know to find out who you really are. And I think when you're strongman, like because of the unique shape implements and things that you lift, and especially at competition time, where it's such an intensity of like, because it's not repetitive. Sometimes you've never even touched that implement with that shape and size, which makes a huge difference, until the day of. You've never seen it before. Sometimes it changes the weights all the time for. So it's like, until you're in that moment, you question every fiber of your fucking being. And the thing is, you can't rehearse that shit. That's what I'm saying. As a dancer, I could rehearse it. I could pretend I was happy. I could smile, dislocate my shoulder, pop it back in, which I did, by the way, at home. Don't do that.
Oh, okay. No, I wasn't planning on it, but
don't do that, people. Do not recommend it.
Anyway, take notes.
Yeah, take care of it. But where's that from? Isn't that from not Rugrats? What the hell? What's it? Rascals. Little kids,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Anyway, so it's like you could be like, hey, I'm a dancer, Stephanie. And then 3 seconds later, you're like, let's go on and dance. You know what I mean? Like that's how you, but that's not good. So strongman, you have to be like, you know what I mean? Like you have to test every fucking thing in your being. It's legit. People are like, I can do strongman work. And I'm like, oh yeah, bitch.
Right.
I invite all the moms that know. They're always like, that's really cool. I like your videos. And then I'm like, so when are you coming over?
All right. And they're like, no, but it's like,
I couldn't make it tonight. Anyways.
But if they just show up and they give it a shot, that they're probably going to like it. Like and that's what, that's one thing that I like about, where I train and where I work at Atlas is, we're always looking to add, especially more women to the gym and to the sport. Just because like I remember when I first met the owner, which was like 3 years ago, like before he even had his own like brick and mortar gym. And it was like I only knew of one other woman in the state that did strongman. And then when I showed up to my first competition, there was maybe like 4 women in total.
Yeah.
And it was like once I kind of figured out that like, okay, this is my sport, I'm probably gonna stick around for a while. I kind of made it like a personal goal to get other girls to come to the gym, just because I'd like to be not the only one.
Well, that's the thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also why I started my Women of Strongman page. It started out as just something. I originally was just going to do it just for Louisiana. And then I was like, okay, it's going to be just me in that group. So I decided to branch out to like Texas and other neighboring states. Well, then like it just kept growing and people from all over started joining. And I'm like, okay, well, I really don't want to keep any girls out. So I'm just going to open it up to all women from all over. And, now I think it's almost over 3,000 members. And it's really grown.
It just takes one woman. People understand that. It's like when you empower yourself, you empower. Like when a woman is empowered, everybody around her improves. When a woman is suffering, everyone around her is suffering, because that's what we were created to do. That's our form of leadership, right? That's our natural, innate, given gifts, right? So like me building my strongman garage, I want to have strongman boot camp classes. I want this lockdown to be over. I want to be able to help people. So that's my goal. I want people to see me lifting out on the streets. And I'm like, hey, what is that? And I'm like, you want to come and try?
You want to touch my keg?
Want to touch my shit? Like it's sexy, right? But anyway,
I got a log. You want to try my log?
I feel like I could throw.
Like, we sound like such dorks whenever we invite people over to try our stuff. Hey, I have some big rocks. You want to play with them?
It sounds like you're a weird, awkward kid.
I know.
It's like me being autistic to the max. So it's like, what the hell was I gonna say? But it's like my getting my neighbors' kids into and all this stuff. It's like, they were like, I won't like it. I don't want to do it. And I was like, I literally paid them. I was like, maybe $10 just to lift it and try it because you'll love it. And now they love it. Like,
now we're bribing people to get into the sport.
Well, I just want more people to lift. But anyways, I started my group before I found out about your group. But my focus was Canada, because I found that, because I didn't know as much as I do now. And I was like, I want more people, just like you. I was like, I want more people in my province. I want there to be, women run meets and events. I want there to be more women coaches. I want there to be more women lifting, more moms lifting. So it came from the same kind of heart place as you. And so I've closed my mind off to other places because there's other groups, right? Like yours. But I do want to focus on promoting strong women athletes, mainly in Canada, and events out here. And sources of support, but not closed off to obviously international athletes and people like yourself, because that would be stupid, because that's the point, right? Is to empower women to that point of being world champions.
And to connect everybody, Yeah,
totally. But if you're like want a main source of information for all the stuff in Canada, it's like, okay, well then there's that group. But then if you want to see what else is going on, they go, right? So it all serves. That's my point. It's like women don't need to compete against each other. We all have a purpose. There's enough going around for everything. We can all be empowered and bright, shining beside each other. You know what I mean? Like.
Right.
That's all about strongman. It feels like the one place in powerlifting where strength sports for women is where you can just be a badass bitch, where you don't have someone dancing. You know what I mean? Like in my dance days, there's always a girl like, oh, you're having. I'll never forget this burlesque event. And this is the same girl who was like trying to play the victim. I didn't even know her, but she was like a yoga instructor, and she taught at the same dance studio I rented at the time, and like I rented out space, and she was like. I guess I didn't hear it, but I was going up on stage to perform, and I was wearing fishnets, and it was a dance dedicated to my spouse, and it was after I had my first son, and I was feeling really empowered about my body. And she's like, oh my God, why? She should not be wearing those fishnets. Like, oh my God, why should I wear it? Because my butt wasn't super toned muscular. I mean, I was like a deflated balloon after I had my kid. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're the better person because you're trying to be proud. I'm like, see, that's just so unhappy, insecure, and full of hatred. Like, you need to work on you, boo. You need to find self-love and self-happiness. You don't need to tear me down. You know what I mean? Like if you're happy,
if you can't lift somebody else up, don't tear them down.
Yeah, but it's like the whole point of burlesque and strongman. Like that's why they're very similar. That's why I love them both. Is like and being proud of your body, doing it to like fuel your life in a positive way. Like people would think like burlesque is about like stripping and like ruining the world and moral values. I'm like, no, for a lot of women, it's literally just, especially moms, it's just like they feel like shit. Sometimes they have shitty men in their lives and spouses or mother-in-law or whatever, like mine, who comment on their body, and they just want to feel fucking sexy again, and you know, heal their body through the dance, the movements, which is like strongman, right? So it's like I said, fucking do it. Like, oh, when I was, some stuff I heard from older grandmas, you know, parents, when I was a mom, I didn't go up gallivanting, like dancing and doing shows, and I didn't go and lift weights and gym. I went to France.
Is that really what your grandma sounds like?
No, but I feel like that's just stuff in my head. But anyways, it's like, but it's like, you know, when I was young, you know, when I had kids, I scrubbed the floor with the toothbrush, and I'm like, yeah, but did that make you happy? Did it make your kids happy? Did you spend time with them? Were you happy? Did you resent your spouse?
Did it make you feel fulfilled? Did it make you feel good about yourself?
No.
Right.
Who cares? Yeah. There's text on the wall. No one cares. Right. So that's basically it. Like, you gotta choose your priorities in life. And to me, it's always like, when you think about how much time you spend cleaning and cooking and all these things, it's so much time and years, if you add it up over here, that you're wasting your life. You could die at any time. Your kids, you lose your kids. Like, life is so fucking precious. Do it and fail, or do it and then quit. It doesn't matter. Just fucking do something. Just do it. There's no loss in it, right?
Like, I mean, Nike made it their entire slogan. Just do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and like, that's it. No, that's a good point. That's another thing that I like to encourage people is like, just do it. If it makes you happy, if you think you're gonna enjoy it, if you want to try it, just do it. Like,
but even if you don't know how you're gonna enjoy it, like, that's how I know who I am. That's how I know have so many skills. That's how I know what I want out of life, and what I don't is when I don't put up with bullshit from people, because I know who the fuck I am, because I failed so many times. I've tried so many
and you tried things. You gave it a shot.
Gave it a shot. Don't like it, move on. Try this job, don't like it, move on. Like, your identity doesn't have to be stuck to one thing. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like you're not stuck where you are. It's like you have options.
Yeah, there's always, it's like be a butterfly, be a chameleon, just go with the flow, you know, move along with life, and you never know what life has for you. That could be the most amazing friends and things that you find for that you may never find if you just stuck in your little, you know, like we have this podcast. Like, it's just crazy. It literally, because I was volunteering at the Folk Around Feeling here, which is like a cultural event. Long story to explain, but basically, like, there was a pavilion, and then there was like a Scottish Games demonstration. I was like, oh shit, I'm Scottish. That looks amazing. I want to do that.
Those are the games for me. I'm Scottish.
I want to throw some heavy things in the kilts. I'm Scottish. I should be allowed. And you know,
that speaks to my soul.
Yes, I get to grunt and throw things, because I'd get arrested if I did that.
Oh my God, sign me up.
Yes.
Okay, so that's how it started?
Yeah. So when you're like, you're saying just do that thing of Shia LaBeouf, like when he's like, do it.
Yeah.
With his hands, you know? Like, what is this? I'm just saying, you know? So anyways, so you do strongman classes on Sunday. Talk to me, girl. Talk to me about what you do, and you just come to me right now.
We do them on Saturdays. And it's something we try to have every Saturday. It's kind of a show up and work on what you want to work on. We usually have a couple of athletes who are prepping for something. So those guys are going to be running their events and, you know, going over all that stuff. For the, you know, like regular people who show up, they'll usually have an idea of what they want to work on, and people usually break into groups and kind of just work together. I like to work with the new people who show up, especially when we have some new girls that come in. I usually just like to sit and talk a little bit about what do they know about the sport, what's your experience with weightlifting, what are you interested in, and then show them some stuff that they're interested in. But it's kind of, over the last 3 years, it's grown from like less than a handful of people showing up every Saturday to now we are consistently having like 30 and 40 people show up, and there's always somebody new coming through the door. And it's really cool to see how the gym and the sport has grown.
So sometimes when you talk, you sound super like you don't know you're American, and then you get really American,
And then I get really American. For real.
Oh God, the ladies in the back got
my
shook.
heads. Oh, they got shook.
My
Yes.
different personalities.
Yeah. I put some googly eyes on them. This is Cheryl. Yeah. I used Cheryl yesterday. Cheryl helped me with my picture yesterday.
Shoppers Drug Mart. And then sometimes.
Oh, wait, no, that's Cheryl. I get them confused.
That's creepy. That night
I know, right?
Oh, look, I make googly eyes. Oh. And also, your jawbones are so like defined, like here, and like you don't have fluke yet because you got baby free. But anyways, like I just see this military drill sergeant in you. Like you're
for real.
Or you can be like, one more push up, keep going.
I mean, I do, I guess, put off, like that resting bitch face thing. Like, I mean, if I'm not smiling, I don't look particularly pleasant. So I really have to be careful about like my face situation, especially when I'm like meeting new people, because if I like get in my head or if I'm trying to do something, I'm just like, yeah, and it's like, oh God, yeah. she looks horrifying.
Yeah, like my brother used to walk around. He's like, you look like such an asshole, and I'm like, yeah, but I am an asshole. Like that's the thing. As soon as that guy told me to put a mask on my door, I was like, what? Like I was like, oh, let's fight. Like there's an asshole inside. I'm like, but I'm like, bitch, I'm a bear. Hello.
Right. I am fully aware I'm a dick, but
yeah, it's like I'm if you poke a dick, coming out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Rip it out of my
I definitely thought you were going in a different direction, but okay.
I'm sorry. When you have kids, you never get laid. It piles up over time.
It builds up the tension.
The tension builds up. I need some good loving. So anyways, everyone's like, I did not need to know that.
Like, the things I have to look forward to.
So changing subjects. So what were some tips that you have, obviously because you do all this stuff, to avoid injuries and perform at people's peak ability before competition, at competition? Part A, Part B.
Part A, Part B. One of the biggest things I always like to preach is like make sure you're doing the recovery things that nobody wants to do, but everybody needs to be doing. Especially like those last couple of weeks leading up to the competition, because most people are going to be going through a very intense ramp up situation in their programming, and then you come back down. And at that point, it becomes equally as important to monitor, like your eating and your sleeping and taking care of all those little aches and pains and making sure that you're doing your mobility drills and all that shit. Don't take that stuff for granted. Take it seriously. Also, just being prepared and, making sure that you have everything, that you'll need for each event. I like to go through and I have my clients go through each event, read over every single little detail that was provided by the promoter, go through in the days leading up to, if you have to travel or, when you need to be there, make sure you have all your shit for every single, event. Because it feels terrible when you get to that event and you're pulling stuff out of your bag and you realize you don't have something that you've been using for the last 8 to 12 weeks in training, and you were fully expecting to use it on game day. Stuff like that can throw you off. But just being smart, and remembering that competition prep is a process, and just listening to your body. That's the biggest thing. If something doesn't feel right, then take a second and assess. Like I said, during that time, your body's going through some of the toughest training that it's probably ever been through. So you need to really pay attention to what's going on with your body and address it accordingly.
Yeah, it's true. You know, you have to pay attention to that. So what are some of like, what does your fitness and training, like physical training program look like before your competition? What do you usually do?
Um, uh, Usually I start really honing in about 4 weeks out. That's when, typically my training will start to increase in volume, increase in intensity, going through that ramp up period. I start, doing a lot of visualizing.
Mm-hmm.
I mentally walk through all of my events. I
Yeah.
like to prepare for every single little thing that can go wrong.
Yeah.
I like to imagine every single little scenario and how I would bounce back from certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually start focusing on that about 3 to 4 weeks out. And then as it gets closer to that, that week out, that deload that everybody's been waiting for, I just, again, I take time to listen to my body, address what feels bad. I usually go see my chiropractor, go get a massage, and just make sure that my recovery is on point.
Yeah, for sure. So
So,
when you were competing when you first started, like I'm sure there's struggles that you had to overcome, you know. So what are
mhm.
some like pro tips you have in terms of like personal habits that people need to start or stop before competition, during competition, to perform at their peak ability?
Oh man, there's so many tips.
Five. Shoot me five.
Yeah,
Five.
five. Let's see.
I got five
One
fingers.
of one of the biggest things that I try to tell my clients, don't compare yourself to who else is on the roster. That was a thing that really got to me when I was like that. The first year that I went to nationals was 2019. And it was around that time where like my page really started to hit it off. And I really started to get to know like a bunch of different women who were like on my level and who were all going to the same competitions. And I met a lot of people at that nationals. And then after that, it was Pro Women's Worlds. And one mistake that I made was like I let what I saw my competition doing get in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my biggest suggestions is, the weeks leading up to your competition, focus on you. Don't focus on what other people are doing, because it's super
Mm-hmm.
easy to fall into that trap with social media and how accessible everybody is.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that kind of caught me off guard, and I really didn't expect uh, when I really got into competing. Another thing that I think holds a lot of people back is that I hear a lot of times that people don't want to sign up for competitions because they're not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
They're under the impression that they have to be at a certain strength level, or they have to be able to take first place in every single competition that they do. And I think that's a mentality that holds you back.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes we need to get our asses kicked. Sometimes we need to go up against people who are going to give us a run for our money. And it's in those moments where like you push yourself the hardest. So, if that another bit of advice I would say is, like, don't hold yourself back. You never know what you're capable of until you actually give it a shot.
Well, the biggest thing is like, when you talk about comparing to other women, women still need to work on not shit talking other athletes and their technique
Oh,
and their wins. And I get it because you want to be technical, you want it to be fair, you want to win with your merit. I get it, but it's like at the same time, like she fucking won. Like let her have
but
it, or you didn't win.
right.
for sport. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, you're not a failure. She's not a failure. It's all good. And like, really amp the fuck out of the effort. Cause that is really, like I said, at the end of the day, what matters. Cause even the best athletes don't win. You know, it's not like there's a world strongman who's like undefeated indefinitely. It just doesn't work like that. You know, your body has clocks, you know, and sometimes no matter you do everything fucking right and your body's just not having it, you know? Like,
yeah. One thing I have noticed is, I mean, you've got people who you are always going to have people who talk shit. Like, you are always going to have people who are going to make nasty comments, even, you know, if somebody does something perfectly. Like, you can't please everybody. But one thing I have noticed getting to know a lot of the different women in the sport is that for the most part, the girls amp up the girls. Like, I've been to some competitions where, you know, the front runner, who's clearly the front runner, will finish her run, turn around and start cheering for her competition.
Oh yeah.
Like, 100%. That's so, and I've seen that a lot, and that's one reason why I still enjoy like being a part of the community and working, you know, with girls at my gym, and, you know, hosting the Women of Strongman Facebook page. You know, like, I still see all of the good people and all of the people uplifting and supporting other women.
Totally. And I mentioned it because I agree with you that it is like a larger percent that says positive, but my point is like, there's so much more positivity than people think. There's so much goodness. Go for it, seek it, be a beacon of it, live it, and just do for that, you know? At the end of the day, like you said, there's no, even if you're just doing it for fun, and some athletes want to go hardcore and get worlds, great. If you don't, that doesn't mean you can't. Just because you're not trying to become an international athlete or a world star athlete doesn't mean there's no pointage. You know what I'm saying? Like, the beginning isn't, it doesn't have to always be way up here. You know what I mean? Like, because I've coached and worked with dancers for so many years, and I've worked with, like, I can't teach in studios with dance moms, like, because sometimes they're just savage. Like, they're worse. They're so abusive. Like, sometimes they're worse than like hockey moms. I'm like, you know what? Your kid, like, and no one likes having this conversation. And most of the time you don't, because the parent can't handle it. But it's like, your kid doesn't have the physical ability. Like, there's certain, like, you know, in certain countries, they recruit kids for certain sports when they're 3 and 4 years old. It's genetics, right? There's people that are super hyper flexible. There's people with certain strength. I'm not saying that you can't be a lightweight heavier than a strong, heavy, or lightweight heavier than a heavy, lightweight heavier than, stronger than a heavyweight. Too many words. Anyway, sort of that out. Oh, I was afraid for a second. Fine. Anyways, you know, so it's like, I'm not saying that anomaly doesn't exist, but I'm saying sometimes, no matter how much you can spend on dance program, like, you're not going to beat, but that's okay. Like, my point is, our generation, our parents in the 90s was all so achievement, like, based, and it's
oriented,
like,
right?
Yeah. And now people are like, oh, you should give people participation awards, and like, I don't agree with that. I think that, like, you should always acknowledge effort first and foremost, and celebrate it. I'm not saying be like, don't push yourself or push other people if you know they can do better, greater, more. But it's like, that's where they're at that moment in life, their time, or with their or whatever. It's fine. Like, don't marinate and soak on it about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no negative.
It's kind of like, everybody's got to start somewhere. And you're right. Not everybody was born to be, you know, the next world's strongest man or world's strongest woman. But most people, you know, take up a lifting sport or get into weightlifting mostly just to get in shape and to maybe get a little bit stronger, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's also nothing wrong with, you know, signing up for a competition and pushing yourself to do things, you know, you never thought you could do. Does it mean you're going to be the next world's strongest man? Maybe not, probably not many people will be, but the point is, we all need goals. We all need shit to shoot for. We all need stuff, you know, to do as a hobby, and that makes us feel good, right? And so, like, if that is your jam, go out and do it. You don't have to be the best. You just have to go do it.
aim high, and whatever happens, happens. That's what I'm saying. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the adventure.
Right. Oh, definitely.
Good comes out of it, right? Like you said, you've learned something about yourself, you learned something about other people, and a subject in life. And so it's like there's nothing but wins from it. Focus on the win, and the win is the experience. And the rest is just great. You could never, for me, it's like people always say, like, do you ever fear, do you ever doubt? Like, no, I'm like, I don't fucking walk into dance competitions be like, I don't know if I'll win because I'm X amount of pounds. I don't fucking care. I literally, when I do competition, I'm like, don't tell me. It is what it is. It is what it is. Whatever weight category I'm in, I have to compete, right? It's like me being tall and being a woman. I had a choice. I kept injuring my back trying to dance with short little dudes, or I could do the dude part. And I was like, I think that's much more pleasant for my life. So anyways, just like go with the flow. Anyhow, you tired, you falling asleep. She needs a nap.
Girl, it's been a long day.
Yes. So anyways, on that note, you guys, I just want to say, thank you again to you for being on our show. I appreciate that a lot.
Of course. I enjoyed it.
You're so much fun. I love you so much. Why do all the best people in the world have to not live where I live?
That is probably one of the biggest like aggravations, is that like I've made so many friends through like, the page and going to competitions, and it's just like I don't get to see these people like ever. So
I know it's hard, but you guys like follow up there, because like I said, she's an amazing person, and she's always there for you. Just send a message. And like I said, always, if you haven't already heard like about our Strongman first annual virtual Strongman competition and powerlifting competition, check it out. I encourage you to read the registration form and the judging rules, because there's a lot more to it than you think, and it is being judged professionally by top female strength athletes. So it's legitness. Nice. It's for Canada. It's legitness. Legit tops everywhere. And if you're not on TikTok, get on TikTok. It's so much fun. Okay, I was on TikTok, and now I'm like the 5-year-old in me is having a ball. So that's where I get all these songs. So check us out on TikTok for clips of the show, our fitness challenge that we do for monthly prizes and giveaways. If you're on Facebook, like I said, check out our group Team Pound Strong, where I do virtual challenges of every sort: dance, fitness, like virtual walks, everything for like raising money and just to get in shape. There's recipes there as well that I posted up there. And then people that have been on our show who are guest experts like Lauren can also reach out to you, can connect with them on the group, and they can post their stuff there too. So there's just really a nice way to connect with different groups and different things within the strength community all over the world. And if you want to drop it like a top and train, and check out our Spotify playlist, Train Panda Strong Cardio and Train Panda Strong Strength. There's a lot of working, so don't play that around children, because I do not use the radio version. And check out our website, www.pandastrong.ca, and our YouTube account at Fantastic the Dancer at pandastrong.ca. And see you guys on the next episode.
Yay!
Keep sumoing and dancing like a hoe. It rhymes.
Nice. It was okay. You tried.
I tried. I went for it.
You tried.
And that's the message of the day, anyways.
That is the message of the day.
It is. Take it. Own it.
Take it.
Live it. And comment below if you like this episode. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I feel like this should be some cheesy 90s. Game show song.
98.1. That's what it sounded like. Right. That's funny.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is my